Okay, so yesterday I pulled you guys out and asked if you guys were going to be summoning on the Klee banner, the Kazuha banner icon in the future, or you're not going to be summoning at all. And I got some really interesting responses, things that I was not expecting. The first comment on the list and the most voted comment is going to be, gotta have my Archon squad, and people are going to be going for the next big-ass Archon. Archons in the game are very, very powerful as far as iconic figures, as well as insane characters in the game. The Klee Nation squad, of course, for her kawaii-ness will be going over today as well. But a lot of people have already burned their primo gems on Eula because they found a big nuking character they really like. Of course, because Inazuma is around the corner, it is a decent idea to save for an Electro Archon, but we don't know about any of the changes for 1.6 yet for their finalized changes. So we're hopefully going to see some really cool things for Electro characters, and hopefully Inazuma is going to be a really, really powerful set of Electro characters going forward, because we haven't actually seen a new 5-star Electro character since the launch of the game. Arbedo is going to be coming soon, and he's going to be a very strong, free-to-play friendly character that you should be definitely going for if you don't have him already, and kind of interesting. Let's go into the characters and talk about if we can actually improve those choices to give you a more well-rounded idea of what to expect. So we all know the waifu Eula is a beast, and she's good with C0, C1, C6, everything. She has good everything and is always great. But let's go ahead and talk about Klee. Alright, now Klee is a Master Nation nuker and has a bunch of different problems with her kit because she's quote-unquote clunky. Now I want to teach you guys about two different mechanics with Klee that are very, very awesome. So the first one is going to be a jump cancel, where you can basically jump at the same time where you throw your bomb, which allows you to jump forward and then throw a bomb. So you can basically just launch yourself forward while also animation canceling a bomb. The second thing is, with Klee, her auto attack for her second auto attack is significantly weaker than her first auto attack. So if you're looking to boost your damage on Klee, there are other animation cancels that allow you to do a second hit. So what you do is you wait till the smoke disappears on the first auto attack while holding W, and what you can do is what's called walk canceling, and it allows you to then continuously throw your first auto attack. Now this walk cancel animation also allows you to do a walk cancel animation along with throwing bombs in the middle, so you can get your attack rotations in with one of these and get a charge attack all in there. The other thing is that Klee has great animation charge attacks for her, and she actually has empowered charge attacks that do significantly more damage than Yanfei. If you didn't know this about Klee, she actually has a very significant multiplier on her charge attacks. If we go to actually do her base multiplier down to here, she has the same multiplier at her rank 1, or I guess the original rank of her charge attack, with a 50% bump if you end up getting the Jumpty Dumpty proc, which is Pounding Surprise, or normal attack proc. Whereas Yanfei is a character that actually starts at a significantly lower multiplier for charge attack at 98% charge attack, and actually ends at C0 to C5 at a much lower multiplier. Only at C6 does she start to outstrip Klee's damage as far as overall charge attack damage, because Klee on an empowered charge attack will do more damage. Now the other thing is that Yanfei has an ability to get that 80% extra damage on a separate hit. So the only way you're going to get this to be more damage than Klee is that if this hit in particular is going to be a double vaporize. If you know what that is, it's when the target is infused with a water element, and you can actually trigger 2 vaporize at the same exact time, and make it so that the internal cooldown of elemental reactions don't trigger. Of course, this doesn't really work on melt unless the strength of the cryo element is significant and is very difficult to trigger in general. The other thing with Klee is that she has a Jumpty Dumpty bomb, and her Jumpty Dumpty bombs are way more powerful than you would realize. Many people find that the mines and things like that are very difficult to trigger, but what I'll show you today is how Klee is a dominant force in content. So Klee is one of those characters that is really fun to play because she is very difficult mechanically. And the thing that makes her very fun in general is that you can launch everyone. As you can see here, you can even launch the Geo Vishaps that are super, super annoying, and actually you can juggle them perpetually. I had one run a couple days ago where I was juggling this Geo Vishap literally the entire time. If you're having problems with your range under Klee because you feel like the range is really small on her, you can actually use an Albedo Elevator to actually give your range some extra boost so you can get more damage and also get the Albedo damage in. To that, Klee's a character that doesn't need elemental reactions and similar to other characters, which is actually kind of helpful in the current Abyss. Also insanely powerful at destroying the Abyssal Lectors as well as their Abyssal Lector shields just by herself doing mad lad damage. One of the things I find to be most helpful about Klee is that when you're using Klee in any situation, her ultimate ability is always going to be able to hit the target while you're dodging the enemy and do multiple hits against Lector shields. Now in the past this was actually kind of a negative because you couldn't create big elemental reactions, but in the current meta where we're having enemies with large shields that you need to do multiple hits against a lot of the time, Klee is a really viable character in the current meta. So if you're looking for a character that help you shred the Abyssal Lector shields a little bit quicker because you're not able to build, let's say, a TF set, or your Bennett is otherwise occupied in another floor, there's a lot of different ways that you can use Klee in order to do that. On all weapon prioritization list wise, she is kind of she's actually very open for overall weapons. My favorite weapon to use on her is the Lost Prayer. I've tried out the Skyward Atlas and Memory of the Dust, that weren't really my favorites, but as a 4-star weapon, I actually saw pretty comparable damage overall across the board. And one of the reasons I actually refined my Solar Pearl is so I could use it on Klee. Now, the big thing a lot of people think is that you need a big charge attack on Klee, but that only really happens for the one hit that you're going to be doing with the charge attack. And seeing how she has so many other hits that she's doing in her arsenal with normal attacks, charge attacks, and elemental burst, and her energy recharge is actually nothing to laugh at because you can actually get a significant amount of energy recharge from her talent too. Anytime you use a charge attack on characters and actually hit with your charge attack and get a crit, all party members gain 2 elemental energy. And this actually does not have an internal cooldown, so I think it actually might trigger multiple times if you hit multiple enemies. I have to test it though, I'm not 100% sure on that one, but it seems to be the case. All in all, I think Klee is a really viable character with a lot of weapons that she can actually use. Not really a free-to-play accessible weapon that she can actually use entirely. But for other free-to-play players, if you don't have anything, the Widzith is really good for a burst damage rotation, and the Black Wolf weapon is decent. You don't really need a huge, big thing with her for the overall crit chance crit damage, and she stays down in the field for a large amount of time. She does get a lot of kills with using Black Lift. One of my favorite things about Klee is that I don't actually have to occupy my Crimson Witch of the Flame set on my Klee, and actually do really well with the Lava Walker set. And that's probably my favorite part about Klee, is that she optimizes a Lava Walker set pretty exceptionally. And if you are a free-to-play or budget player and you're looking for a character to really optimize this Lava Walker set with a 35% damage against Pyro Inflicted Targets bonus, this is a really good option for free-to-play players if you're thinking about using a Pyro character that can enable a lot of reactions. This character also works really well with Shinku, helps out with Beidou, etc., and has rage damage. My favorite pairing with her is Abido. So overall, she has a lot of options that you can use in her arsenal, and you can actually sweep Klee bombs with Sucrose as well as other characters in order to maximize your damage. If you're a mad lad and searching for constellations on Klee, my Klee is currently C0. I really don't find Klee's constellations to be necessary, but she does get massive improvements in overall damage. If you're looking to do damage showcases or whatnot, or like really test out maximum damage, she's one of the few characters in the entire game that has a defense down proc on her kit. So on a Constellation 2, if you're looking to do that, is a very big talent for for improving your damage. Overall, she does have a big nuke hit on her Constellation 4, but as I've been told by some people that do have her at C6, the C4 and C6 don't really feel as viable, and you don't really get the maximum value out of them unless you're swapping at the right time on a C4. And then the C6, the energy recharge gain for your entire team, apparently feels a little bit lackluster, but those same players that tell me that, of course, are players that say that, you know, certain characters don't need batteries, and then use Klee. All right, let's go talk about Animo Traveler 2.0, also known as Aether Lee, also known as Kazu. So Kazuha is one of those characters that is going to support your team. In my opinion, he's the most similar character in the game to Sucrose and Animo Traveler put together. Sucrose is a boosting character to boost your entire team out in a really positive fashion for maximum damage, whereas, you know, Traveler is basically the exact same character except worse. It's really unfortunate. The ability for Traveler on a hold E versus a normal E is actually really similar to that of Kazu's if you look at the overall percentages gains as far as what he would receive based on the beta test abilities. Unfortunately though, even with the hold E versus a normal E, Kazu, on top of all that damage, gets a plunge attack that you saw in his overall video that is exceptionally high damage. So a plunge attack that is akin to another character that I would give it, because from what I can see, his plunge attack ratios actually seem similar to that of Zhao. So if you're looking to get a big Zhao style plunge attack that's also infused as you plunge down with an Animo element, That sounds like a pretty good ability. In addition to all of that, we got Animo Traveler dropping a big ulti that consumes an element and then does damage. But Kazu, from what we know, also does the same thing. And he does it at a much higher value. He also does it at a much more initial damage value. So overall, he is a direct power creep to Animo Traveler. So if you are looking to get a character that is much better than Animo Traveler, but is almost the exact same character, basically Animo Traveler just turned into Amber versus Ganyu. This is now Animo Traveler versus Aether Lee or Kazuha. And she's the new Amber. Damn it. The difference between the two characters, from what I see between Sucrose and Kazuha, is that Sucrose is going to be boosting, of course, your team's elemental mastery, whereas Kazuha, potentially, don't know this for sure because the character's not released yet, has the ability to boost your team's elemental damage and can scale off elemental mastery. So we don't know any of that for sure, but they're probably not going to change that kind of stuff in the kit after beta. So let me know what you guys think. Are you guys going to be summoning for Kazu? I think he's going to be a really, really exceptional character on any team. The people that I think that should summon for both Klee and Kazu, if you're missing a Pyro DPS and your box is looking a little bit light on Pyro characters, like if you don't have Diluc and you don't have Hu Tao and you're really considering a Pyro character, do I consider Klee better than Yanfei? Absolutely, much better the character than Yanfei. Unfortunately, Yanfei does do good damage, but suffers from a lot of different problems by staying out in the field, which Klee already does, but actually has lower ratios, as we mentioned in the Met video. So of course, even at C6, still worse than Klee at C0, which is the only way you can compare 4 stars to 5 stars. And most people can agree with that. A C6 4-star is probably going to be more expensive than a C0 5-star, especially when you consider the newer 4 stars. Between all of them, though, if you're looking for a really, really good Pyro DPS and you are a free-to-play player, please build Zhangling. She's one of the best characters in the entire game. Zhangling and Bennett can definitely carry your entire account, and I do it all the time on my free-to-play account. Hello, Seka. On my free-to-play account, I actually don't have any other Pyro DPS built, and I can easily 36-star builds with this type of account. And I did not build Yanfei on purpose because I was actually really disappointed with the different damage difference between her and Zhangling. The character I would actually probably benefit the most from on my free-to-play account would be Klee, but I'm actually thinking about skipping Klee and going for a different character just because my catalyst pool is a little bit lighter. The thing that would actually probably make me summon for a 5-star character like Klee would be having a weapon like Widzith in my arsenal already, and not weapons like the Favonius Codex and Sacrificial Fragments on the side, and an Eye of Perception. I would probably summon for Klee if I had something a little bit better in my arsenal, but I don't, so But as far as Kazuha goes, I have a very large sword pool to choose from, and I have the option of building out the Iron Sea if I really want to, which could potentially be a very good weapon for Kazu. So if you're wondering if you're a free-to-play player that should summon for him, if your box is looking like you actually have either Venti or Sucrose, my opinion, if you are a free-to-play player, is probably this is a skip banner for you, for Kazu specifically. And if you really need a Pyro DPS, you don't really need one to beat Abyss currently, but she really helps you shred the Abyssal Electro Shield. So if you're looking for a character that help you with that, that would be very helpful. You don't necessarily need Kazu if you have both Venti and Sucrose on a squad, but he's going to be probably really fun to play, and so is Klee. So between the two characters, I think that if you're summoning on this banner, it's a more of a for fun summon, and the fun is pretty large. So definitely consider summoning it if you don't want to be bored as fuck. Alright guys, my name's Sekapoko. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did enjoy the video, of course, like, subscribe, all the fun stuff, and you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.